Hello, and welcome to day 9, which is discussing literature that can help us with our depression. Now, I'd like to preface this by saying that yes, I do know that 2 videos are shot in one day, so I'm not even gonna bother to change my clothes to make it for continuity reasons. Yeah, so let's just get into it. So, for me, I'm an avid reader. At least I used to be. I actually listen to a lot of audiobooks now, and I love my Audible. It helps things a lot. And, we're dealing with depression, dealing with, unhappiness, and dealing with life. There are certain books that I just like to listen to, like to read, because honestly, they hold your feet to the fire. You hold your feet to the fire and make you accountable, and also give life lessons along the way. So I wrote these all down here, as you can see. But I'm going to go one by one through the list and tell you which each was going to be, because some we have discussed briefly. The first one I want people to look at into is Ryan Holiday's The Obstacle is the Way. And it pretty much is exactly as it sounds. Pretty much you have something that's going against you, so to speak. That obstacle is your way to success or to happiness or whatever. Remember, we're focusing on being, not so much being happy. So whatever it is that you need to be in that space that you're looking to be, your obstacles will help you get there. Your hardships, your adversities will help you to get there. And it's a wonderful book. I'm going to be honest with you. The audiobook is really boring because his voice is not all that exciting. So if you so if you want to go to Amazon or Kindle or Barnes and Noble and get the actual hard copy, I would recommend you do that instead because his voice honestly bores me to tears. But I love you, Ryan Holiday. I love your blog. I love your blog and I love your books. But I just can't listen to your voice. I'm sorry. The next book is The Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Now, this probably is one of my favorite books ever. It pretty much runs through counterintuitive ideas, in life that we want to have. We have to think about our mortality. We have to think about, the fact that we're not so important and we're not so alone in our issues. That we need to check our egos. That we are pretty much putting too much of our lives into too many different fucks to give than we really need to. And people depressed, we all know, that are depressed, we know we give way too many fucks. And so this book helps differentiate what things are important for us, what things are not important for us, based on our own perspective, and to allocate our fucks to give, to better things for us. That way we're not caught back in that feedback loophole from hell. That we're not caught, in this same cycle of awfulness. And also brings to the point this very, very important idea that he quotes somebody and says, every day in my life I'm going to be responsible for everything that happens. And that's huge. So the onus becomes on us now. And that's why I felt like reading this book. The onus becomes on me to figure out what am I going to do about my life, because I'm responsible for everything, whether it's my fault or not. I'm responsible for everything. So the onus is on me to do something about that. The next book is The Ego is the Enemy, and we all know what that. We could discuss it again. Depressed people have that ego, and that entitlement culture, going back to subtle art, not giving a fuck. So basically, these two books, honestly, in my feelings, they tie in together. You know, we feel like our egos are out of control, and we feel that we're entitled, like Michael Manson says, to happiness, to things like that, what have you. And a lot of things that we do for ourselves is for the benefit of our ego. Now, there's something as healthy ego, like for instance, me doing these videos. Yes, do I get an ego boost? Absolutely, yes, I do. But at the same time, I'm also, it's a good thing. I feel like I'm doing something good for somebody else, apart from myself. Because the thing with these videos are, I watch them back to myself. So I'm talking to myself. So yeah, I'm boosting myself up. Yeah, so I'm also helping somebody else, from what I've heard, and that's also a great feeling. But yes, so basically the ego, we have to try to not so much. You can't ever eliminate ego, but the thing is try to keep the ego to a minimum, or figure out the things that are good for your ego, and that's what the ego is the enemy is all about. The Denial of Death by Ernest Becker. That was a great book. It's pretty much about. It's written by a psychology major who was a professor who, in his last year, found out he had terminal cancer, and he wrote this book. And it talks about how we all want. It goes back to the ego. How you want to live forever. If we're not physically, but through our works, through things like that, whatever. But in doing so, we deny ourselves our lives. We deny ourselves death. We're going to die, and that's not going to change. So we need to figure out what in our life for us is more fulfilling. I feel people with depression, we don't do that. We don't ask ourselves what's fulfilling in life. We don't ask ourselves what's going to make us happy. And in a sense, we deny death. We deny our life because we're busy focusing on wanting the attention and wanting the validation and wanting our egos to be boosted, but we're not paying attention to what actually for us is fulfilling in life, and we're denying ourselves our life because of that through the denial of death. We're denying ourselves our lives as well, and I think it's a huge lesson, and I totally think everybody should get into that 'cause it's amazing. Also, The Daily Stoic is 366 Meditations. It's also by Ryan Holiday, but it's also a book with other different Stoic authors. It comes with that nifty journal you saw on day one that I had. If I can find my backpack, which is right here, I can show you the journal because I write in it every day. So basically, it covers the light. It covers. There it goes. Okay, so it covers basically Stoic ideals and philosophies and how pretty much like we live with the universe. Our virtues get us ahead, and each day has a different meditation that we practice on, and each week has a different theme. And so like for instance, we cover things in our sphere of control, and then we have. I'm not going to show you my writing. We have questions like, what bad habit do I want to curb today? It gives you an idea, because honestly, the idea of journaling is a very important thing. And so to have the daily Stoic, because each daily Stoic thing is one quote or one question or one prompt, and you answer it in the morning, answer it in the evening. And so it really gets you thinking about what it is that you are looking to do with your day. And again, the idea, the book says you're trying to get better, but you're just trying to become your best self. That's how I'm going to look at it. Next book is 7 Habits of Highly Effective Teens. There's also one for the highly effective people, but however, I find highly effective teens easier for me to read. I especially like the first habit because I think that's the most important thing, is being proactive. In doing this video, I feel like I'm being proactive. Now I've laid out the plan, which is beginning and end in mind, and I'm trying to think as win-win as possible about life. And I feel like in this book, even though it's directed towards teenagers, there's a lot for us as adults to get out of it as well. I started reading this book when I was 13. I've been reading it on and on for the past 14 years, and the new editions come out. The covers and changes with the times, and so I feel with that book, we have to, the key takeaway for me is the personal bank account. And then, you say, I'm going to do this. And you begin to pretty much get that relationship with yourself, because honestly, your relationship with yourself is more important than relationship with others. And in this book, they go sequentially. They talk about the private victory and the private things, getting right with yourself before you get right with other people. And the habits are built off of that. You have the first 3 habits, which are just private habits, and the next 3 habits, which are public habits. And then after that, you have to renew yourself. Okay? And my favorite aspect of it is the private bank account, and wherein they discuss, keeping promises to yourself and how that's a deposit in your private, personal bank account. If you lie to somebody, you lie to yourself, you take something out. And so basically you write that down. You see where you're standing, where you're falling, and you get to decide, hey, this what I want? Is that what I want? If people are depressed, if you're saying I'm going to, take a step, whatever, put something inside the bank account. If you're, going to just ride the wave and not really do anything, take something out. And eventually you're going to figure out, hey, this is what I want. This is what I need for me in order for me to feel not like this. And I'm going to put more into that personal bank account until I feel great again. The PBA, if you will. The last book I want to look into is called Crazy is My Superpower by AJ Mendez. And it covers, she's a professional wrestler, and she comes from I won't say broken family, a dysfunctional family. And she and her mother both have bipolar disorder, and it covers her life. It covers her struggle and how she felt when she figured out she had it. And to me, it's just an overall powerful story. There's no really rhyme or reason behind me saying this is going to help you get better, but it gives you an idea of what people go through in real time. You actually have somebody talk about their experience. And the book was just amazing. Like, I remember listening to it and I was like, oh my God, this book is life-changing. It's super deluxe. It's fabulous. And so I would recommend you read that book. I'm not going to give too much of it away because I feel like you should really just get into it. But the stuff she talks about her mom having bipolar and having personality shifts, which I have had. And her going on meds when that was kind of frowned upon because she's Hispanic. It's just so much. It's so much. That poor girl went through a lot, living in hotels and living under bridges, living in cars. Oh my God, AJ girl, if you ever see this, girl, I love you. But yes, those are the books that I have read that I feel that can help. If you have any other books that you want to suggest, drop it down in the comments below. Let me know. Bye.